Hey, what's up guys? I've got something that I'm going to be offering starting right now. You can contact me at this email address or get in touch with me in the comments down below and I will give you this email address. So send me an email if you want one of these. Anyway, it's very affordable and it's a nice upgrade to your Blackbird. Okay, now the reason it's taken me so long to do this is because it has to do with scoping, and I never really saw any point in scoping a Blackbird other than, yeah, you know, if you were hunting varmints or something like that, you would want to get your first shot placement in the right spot. But as far as what I do, you know, I'm just banging along whenever I do get to shoot these for entertainment, and just let a big stream rip and then see where it goes and just put it on target. That's normally how I shoot. But since I have been scoping my guns, I've scoped a couple of them with those fake ACOG scopes. I like those a lot, I do. And what I've noticed is when you do scope them and you have excuse me, any kind of magnification in your scope, like say it's a 4-power, you get an up close view of what the BBs are doing to whatever you're hitting. So it's really cool. It's not like shooting a 30-06 where you just shoot it and it's like blam and then your sight picture goes away for a second and then you get it back and you might not even be on target of what you were shooting at. So they are a lot of fun to scope. And when I first started scoping them with these fake ACOG scopes, they have a really short eye relief, so I had to put them back. I think I made a video a while back on how I did that. That was pretty successful. But the problem with the Blackbird Picatinny rail is the back end of it is floppy, and because you have to mount the scope so far back, you have to have one of the scope mounts on that piece of plastic that's just dangling there. So it's bouncing all around when you're trying to shoot. So here's what I came up with. What we have here is a solid aluminum rail, and it utilizes the dovetail rail that comes off of your frame right in front of the sight right there that a bunch of you guys don't know is there. So this is a much more solid platform throughout, because it's stiff, it's aluminum, it's not going to move. If you wanted to put a 30-power scope on there, that would be fine. Then you could get a real good view of what's going on. Yeah, very sturdy, and I'm going to be offering these very reasonable. I couldn't find anything off the shelf to work, so I did have to cut these down a little bit. So it's not something that I completely made, I didn't build a mold and cast these out of old beer cans or anything like that. It is an off-the-shelf part that I did modify slightly, and I am selling them. Now, to install this on a Blackbird, what you actually need to do is disassemble the gun. So if you've ever got your gun with me and I have to take it apart, that would be a good time to get me to put one of these on there, because the Blackbird has these bolts that go all the way through, and they have the little Phillips head on them right there. And on the other side of your frame, there's a little nut. So if you've ever tried to unscrew one of those and it just keeps turning and turning and turning, that's because there's a nut on the other side of that is actually painted on the end of it to keep it from coming loose. But at the factory, they never do tighten them down to the proper specs anyway. So if you've got if you've got a new Blackbird that's never been into, or I've never been into it, take the back of it and just see if you can move it from side to side. Check out all that wiggle room you got in there. So yeah, I noticed that on my very first one, and I tighten them up, every one of them that comes to me when I have to go in them. Anyway, I will be offering this, and just hit me up at that email address. And also, as far as our gun is coming along, it's still coming along just fine. I got word from Rustlin yesterday that the parts should be in the mail this week, the last bit of the parts. I was hoping to get everything here in October. It's obviously not going to make that, but they're coming, guys, so hang in there. All right, guys, later.